Hello, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be working with fresh flowers and I'm going to be making a tied bouquet. Let me show you the flowers that I'm going to be using, a couple of simple little supplies that I'll need, and we'll get to making the bouquet. Alright, as you can see here, I've got some roses. So I've just picked a couple of flowers that I liked. And I've picked these pretty pink ones, and I've got some baby's breath, also some filler, and I've got some leaves here that are going to be my greenery, of course. I'm going to be needing some ribbon, a bit of floral tape, my scissors, and 3 little sequins pins, just like that. Or you could use little pearl pins or corsage pins. Alright, let's go ahead and start preparing our flowers. So what we want to do is we want to remove from our floral stems, we want to remove all the leaves, and if you have roses and they have thorns, you want to go ahead and cut those off as well. So start preparing all of your flowers. Alright, done all my roses. Now I've got this other flower, and I'm actually going to leave the leaves that are up at the very top, but I'm going to remove the ones down here. So we want to do that. Okay, so now that I've removed all the leaves at the bottom of my stems, and I have some nice long stems, and of course on my roses, if I had thorns, I would remove those. The next thing I want to do is I want to look at the petals on my roses, and I might want to remove the ones from the outside. If they're a little too far open, just remove them. Especially if they're a little damaged, because your rose will continue to open, so you want to remove the ones that are far too open. Okay, so now that I've removed all the open petals from my roses, I have all of these. I can save them, let them dry, maybe use them for potpourri. Now my other flowers, I want to inspect them carefully and make sure that nothing's breaking off. Anything that looks like it's a little too wilted, just remove that. These all look great. These two look a little bit wilted, so I'm going to remove that, as well as these. And now I've got my baby's breath, and I want to go ahead and start cutting some pieces and separating them as well. And now I can hold it like that, and I can see that this one wants to wilt down, so I'm going to cut it off and actually just make smaller pieces. So I just want to separate them. Okay, so now I've got my pieces of baby's breath sorted out. Then I've got my greenery. And I want to take a look at that. And I don't need them to be so long. Maybe this length right here. So I'll start removing the bottom branches. If they come off easily with your hands, just take them off like that. If not, use your scissors or pruning shears to remove, and then cut off any bits that look like they are dry up at the top or wilted. Alright, so I'm just going to finish these off, and as soon as I got everything prepared, we'll be right back, and it'll be super easy to prepare this tied bouquet. Alright, so I'm preparing my greenery tape as well here, getting it ready to use it to tie. Now if you're doing a bouquet at the last minute, and you're just going to go grab some flowers and maybe a piece of ribbon, and that's all you've got to work with, then if you don't have this greenery tape, you can use some rubber bands if you happen to have some, maybe a piece of wire if you happen to have that, or if you have a thinner piece of ribbon or like curling ribbon, you can use that as well to tie your flowers together. Alright everyone, I'm going to go and start preparing the bouquet. So we're going to take one of our roses. This is going to be our center flower. This is our focal flower. And I'm going to put some baby's breath. Anything that's a little too low, just trim it off. Just going to put some baby's breath all the way around it. And actually these little pieces that you've trimmed off, they might be long enough to put here. If not, let's grab the next one. And I'm going to do 3 stems of baby's breath, or more if you want a lot more. I think 3 is enough to put on there. and this is where I want to keep grabbing it. So I want to have at least 6 or 8 inches of flower. This is probably about 6 inches. So this is where I want everything to kind of crisscross and be together. So I'm going to get the next flower, and of course it's not going to go right up against it because we don't want to crush it. So it's going to be a little bit of an angle and crisscross right here where I'm grabbing it, just like that. So that's my other flower. And then I want to do the same and put another flower. You can switch hands, get your other flower, and crisscross the opposite of what you did this one. So this one was kind of going that way, so the one on this side is going to be going this way. So here's the end of it. So I want to grab them like that, and then we've got there, that there. Okay, so now we're going to take another bit of baby's breath and take off the bottom, and I want to now place it with these roses. And actually those little branches are too low, so I'm going to remove that. And I'm kind of going down a little bit lower because now the next flowers, I want them to be down here rather than at the same level, so that it creates sort of a dome. Okay, let's get the next piece of baby's breath for this other rose over here. I don't need these little bits. So there we go, just like that. And now I want to go ahead and add these bundles here. Nice pretty bundle. The same thing. They're going to be crisscrossing right where I'm grabbing. Don't worry about all this down here. You can switch hands. Grab another and crisscross it as well. Actually, to that one I'm going to add the single flower right here. So you can see that forming. And now I want a third one over here. I've actually got 4 pieces, but I don't need that 4th one. I'm going to put this 3rd one right here. I was going to, but I felt like it combined, it was a little too much. So I'm going to lower these just a tad, just to make sure that they're not higher than the roses when I look at it from the side. They're starting to go down a little bit. So that's what I have so far. Now I still got 3 roses. So those, I'm going to go right between here, put one there, and they're crisscrossing as I'm putting them in there. I'm going a little bit lower, I'll go a little bit lower, and then this other one over here. Let me grab this good, between these pink ones over here. So that's what I've got so far. That looks really nice. These look a little too close to that, so I'm just going to maneuver them a bit. These were too close to this one, so I'll just pushing them over a little bit this way. Okay, so now I need some baby's breath. And all I'm doing is I'm removing any stems that were down here at the bottom. And I need a nice big cluster right here because it looks kind of bald right there, and I feel like I need something over here as well. So let me get another big piece like this and remove a little stem on the side. So I've got this big cluster. I'm going to put it here, but then this branch seems to be in the way, so I'm going to get that off of there. Now look how pretty that's looking. Something really simple. Okay, I'm just spreading open my baby's breath. And I feel like I need something right here and then maybe something right here. And that's it. Just a little, well, that's breaking off. Let's see. Here we go. Let's use that one. One more. And on the other side. And grab everything. Let me cut this little stem off here at the bottom. And then bring this one over. Just like that. Now, if you don't like baby's breath, of course, don't put it. If you want to put some berries or something else in there, use that instead. I like baby's breath, so that's why I'm using it. So now I'm going to use my greenery. Now, you can skip this. You don't need to put any greenery on this. Greenery on this. This looks perfectly fine the way it is. But I'm going to go ahead and use this, and you can use any greenery that you like. I happen to like these ferns, and they were inexpensive at my grocery store, so I went ahead and I picked that up. And I'm just going to cradle underneath my bouquet And I'm going to go all the way around. Turn it as I move my bouquet around. Okay, let me pick another one here. This one. I think I'm going to need 4, maybe 5. Yeah, okay, just keep twisting it around. Yeah. Put it down far enough so that it's not coming up too far out. I'm going to go ahead and do 5. Here we go, one more. I've only got one left over, so that was a good deal. There we go, just like that. And I have this little flower left over. Okay, so here we have them all now here. This is where you would take the ribbon, or if you have wire or your rubber band, and you would, of course, grab everything, slide it into there. But the easiest thing to do besides a rubber band would be to use, like I said, a ribbon, a piece of ribbon, or the floral tape. So I'm just going to grab my floral tape and leave a tail, and then just start wrapping it around. Let me bring it up here. I'm leaving a tail like that. Now, like I said, you could use, I'm just going to cut some of it off. You could use, like I said, a piece of like curling ribbon, or another piece of even a little piece of string, really, or a very thin ribbon, just to tie this around. Okay. Okay, so right here, because this is floral tape and it's sticky, I'm just going to twist the pieces together. And this is basically just to hold the flowers, okay? And I'm just stretching it so that so that's going to hold it just for now. And then, of course, you hold it like that also. So there's the bouquet right there. So now we want this to look pretty. We don't want to leave it just plain like that. So that's why we have our ribbon, and then we have these little sequence pins that I told you about, or you could use like corsage pins like that. So whatever you think is prettier. So we're going to take the end of this, and I'm going to place it against any one of the stems here. Okay, let's bring this over. And this is from a rose, and the rose stems are always the hardiest. So I'm actually going to pin it down, and I can actually use just a plain straight pin, because that's going to get hidden in there. I'm going to use 2 of them. Or you can use the sequence pins. The sequence pins are just little shorter pins, so you wouldn't have to push them as far. So all I did was pin it in, and then you're just going to take your ribbon and start wrapping around tightly. Around your flowers. I feel a little stem here. Let's trim that off. And you're going to go down about 8 inches. You want a nice length there to be held comfortably in someone's hand. You want it to be held comfortably in someone's hand, but you don't want it to be too big. So about 8 inches is a good rule of thumb. That's as far down as I'm going to go, so now I'm just going to roll back up. Okay, now I can trim off here my ribbon, and I'm going to fold in the edge of the ribbon, place it on, and then you take your 2 nice little pins that have a nice little end on them, and I'm using these little white beaded little sequence pins, or you can use pearl pins, or like I said, you could use the what is this? The corsage pin, sorry. Alright, or you could use the smaller pins that have the little pearl ends, and if you want, you can pin all the way down to make it a little bit elegant with some little pearls coming down, or you could just hot glue some little pearls coming down, or little elegant little buttons, whatever you like. Make the little stem nice and pretty. Try not to put too much that sticks out too far, where you know it's going to be uncomfortable for them to grasp it. But there we go, and now all we're going to do is we're going to trim off all our stems about 1.5 to 2 inches here at the bottom. So we want to do that. Okay, that's it. Now, there we go. That is our finished tied bouquet, and I've used some fresh flowers. You can use any combination of flowers you like. You don't have to use the greenery ferns like I did. Use something a little bit shorter. Now, you can keep this overnight in your refrigerator. What you can do is you can get a shallow glass that's nice and heavy that won't topple over. You can put that in there and just add just enough water in there just so that it soaks up the bottom. Not enough to soak up onto the ribbon, but just about ½ inch to an inch of water. That's why you want a ½ inch or 2 inches of stem sticking out at the bottom. Now if you're preparing it for that same day, then you don't have to worry about it, especially with roses and baby's breath. Things like this, they last a good while. It's this type of flower that I happen to pick that maybe it's not that great, but maybe a carnation would be a little bit better. But that, something like this, if I just keep it in a little bit of water, it'll be great. Or I can just, even if I was going to use it that same day, if you put in a little bit of water, it'll be good. Just shake it off really good and dry it up, because you don't want the bride's dress, if it happens to be for a bride or whoever's using it, to get it on themselves. But there you go. I hope you liked my hand-tied bouquet. It was super easy, and I hope that you will try it. It's something quick for those last-minute preparations. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. Please give me a big old thumbs up. I can't even speak. A big old thumbs up. Please subscribe, and thank you all very much for everyone who has already been subscribing, and thank you very much for viewing my older videos, and I hope that you will continue to enjoy them, and give me any suggestions if you want to see me do something. I had a suggestion to do a dream catcher, so I will be doing that for sure. All right, everyone, let me know if you still want to see one more. I can do a corsage for you guys. I have a little flower left over. Maybe I'll use that. So let me know, or I'll just move on to the next best thing. All right, everyone. Hit that notification bell. I make videos every Tuesday and every Friday, and also a little vlog to throw in on the weekends, and share on your social medias. And as always, enjoy.